really wanted was to go and count a check. Having all these diamonds dancing on me.
What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kai. This is called Kai's Trading, but I'm probably going to change the name soon, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so today's video, we're going to be going over risk to reward. I've been getting this question a lot. A lot of people want me to make a video about it, so here we go. We're going to dive right in. But before we go ahead and make that leap, make sure you go ahead and make that leap and subscribe, like, comment, and hit that bell icon. That way you guys can stay notified every time I upload a video. I got some videos coming for you guys, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Everything from like lifestyle vlogs to charts like this and Q&As, all that good stuff. So just make sure you go ahead and stay tuned for that. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for the support. We're already at 100 subscribers. That means so much to me. It might be a small amount to some people, but it's growth, and I love growth. Rome was not built in a day. So, you know what I mean? We just have to keep going, keep building. And at the end of the day, like, the truth always shines forward. And that's really all that matters, you know? So starting off here, I wanted to go ahead and explain what risk to reward is before we actually get into it, you know? I feel like that's probably the most important part of everything. So I'm really just winging this video too, so bear with me. So let's see. Let me move this over here, actually. All right, so risk, reward. What are these, all right? I feel like I'm in school right now teaching you guys. Risk is what you are willing to lose. Reward is what you can possibly make from the trade. The only thing as a trader that we can control is our risk. That's why risk management is so important. And I may even make another video on risk management because I don't really have like a full in-depth video of risk management. And I think that's really important for us to dive into further than just risk to reward, because risk management and risk to reward are pretty much the same thing, but they're different at the very same time. And that's something we have to understand. So when it comes to identifying your risk, you have to use an amount that you're comfortable with. If you're using a funding program like FTMO, for example, you know you can only lose 5% in a day. So automatically your risk should be under 5% of what you're willing to lose for the day. Otherwise your account's blown and you'll have to start all over again. So you don't want to do that. Now, if you're using a personal account, regardless, you should be risking about 1 to 3% on average, unless you have like a high risk account that you're comfortable, that's not your main account, because your main account should always be at least 1 to 3%, and 3% is even pushing it alone. But if you have your high risk account, then of course that's understandable. You know, you can go ahead and risk what you want to because that's your high risk account. Your main account, always keep between 1 and 3%. I don't care if it's $100, I don't care if it's $1,000, I don't care if it's $1 million. That's what you need to keep it at, okay, guys? That's going to be the most important thing to have the longevity in your trading career, because trading is not something that's not going to be a get rich quick scheme, you know? This is something that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of hard work. And that's something everybody has to learn as going through the steps of becoming a trader and just going through the process in trading. Because when I started back in 2016, I was like, yo, I'm going to be making money about like in 2 months. Fast forward almost 4 years now. Listen, I'm just now getting to where I'm starting to be consistent and like making and being profitable. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own learning curve and how they go about things, you know? For me, I had to go through hella mentors before I could find a couple that actually stuck with me. My last 2 mentors are the ones that really stuck with me the most, and I've been learning off of them and making my own strategy and stuff like that. So for me, I'm getting somewhere where I'm comfortable at in trading, and it's like, okay, I can start like diving in even more and start actually making real money through FTMO and stuff like that, because I have the capital to actually fund my trading account, you know? So anyway, off of that tangent, back to what we were talking about here. So every time you enter a trade, you need to have your risk already established. And that's going to be your percentage, not the pips right now, percentage. Percentage is the most important thing out there, okay? So once you realize, okay, you know what? We're going to risk, let's say 1% every trade, or 1.5% every trade, or 2%, or up to 3%, you know what I mean? So once you figure that out, you're going to go ahead and use your app or whatever it is that you use to calculate your percent of risk based on your stop loss. And your stop loss is going to be based on your strategy, of course. You know what I mean? So once you identify that, you're always going to be risking the same amount of money every single trade. That way, it's going to be almost impossible for you if you're on a regular personal account for you to blow that account, because you're gonna have to lose. If you're risking 1% every single trade, you're gonna have to lose 100 trades before you blow that entire account. All right, and so that's something you have to understand. Once you understand that, it becomes a lot easier, because then you're like, okay, like I have 100 trades to blow, and depending on my reward, which we're going to get into, I can even prolong that, and I can even make it back potentially, you know? So moving on to the reward. Now, the reward is something that's never guaranteed, because you never know if price is going to hit your final take profit, you know what I mean? Or your overall take profit, let's say. If you only have one TP and that's like 30 pips away, you don't know if price is going to go 30 pips away, but you do know that if price goes to your stop loss, you're going to lose that money. You know what I mean? So we already have that set idea of, okay, we're jumping in this market and we're going to lose our 1%. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to lose that 1%, but you're already coming in with that mindset, because you're like, if we take an L, we take an L, but we're still handling our risk to reward and our risk management correctly. And that's all that matters. Now, let's go ahead and get into it and like look at some setups here. That way you can have a better understanding, and I can go ahead and dive a little more into it. All right. So let's see. So let's go ahead and delete this. Let's go over here to EU. All right. Now I'm not showing you any way of how I trade. I'm just going to show you some random examples of how to use risk to reward. All right. So let's say you wanted to short up here, right? And you shorted after this candle, and over, and your stop loss, let's say, was 10 pips on EU, right? And you're going for a 20 pips, a simple 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. All right. This means that you're willing to risk 1% in order to make 2%. All right. So if price goes and it moves all the way down to your TP, you're going to make 2% of your account balance. So if you're on a $10,000 account, you're risking 1%, that's $100. And you're like, all right, we'll risk $100 to make $200. That's perfectly fine. You can even go to like a 1.5 risk to reward, you know, where you're risking 1% to make 1.5%. As long as you're risking more than a 1-to-1, you're pretty much good. I mean, honestly, as long as you're risking a 1-to-1 or higher, you're going to be pretty much good, because at the end of the day, you're going to be more profitable if you go to a 1-to-1. That's just what it is, because yeah, you're like, oh, well, that's 50-50. You know what I mean? Statistically speaking, that's 50-50, yada, yada, yada. I get that, but you have to understand, if you have a strategy that works well for you and you know price is always hitting your TP when you go for a 1-to-1, then you're going to be growing your account more, and you'll take less losses. You're not going to make all this money all in one trade, but as you keep going and you keep building that trade, you're going to make that money. You know what I mean? So as you can see here, this was a 1-to-2. So what you guys can do to help you out as well for risk to reward is on here on TradingView, when you open up your risk to reward tool, whether you're going long or short, they both work the same way. You double click on it, it opens this up. You put your account size right here. We'll put the 10,000 for this example, and we put how much we're going to risk, 1%. All right. Your entry price is right here in the middle. Profit is going to be down here. Stop loss right here is at the very top. All right. And once you click OK, this will update. You see here on the very end of this right here, what happens the amount. This is how much your account balance is going to be if your trade either hits your stop loss or your trade hits your take profit. All right. And yours might be a different color, might be red and green. I changed my green to blue just because I like that better. It looks better for me. That's all. So you can change them any color, do whatever you want to do with it. So let's say you go ahead and you do this, right? You say, boom. All right, we had a 1-to-2 right there. Cool. All right, wait for another entry. You know what I mean? Follow your system, whatever it is. Another 10 pip stop loss again. All right, cool. We're going to go ahead and go for 20 pips. Boom. 1-to-2, right? You're like, all right, cool. You're up 4% right now. Keep that in mind. You're up 4%. They both hit your take profits and everything. So you're up 4%. Cool. All right, bet. So now you want to go ahead and short again. You short right here. 10 pip stop loss. And you go for 20 pip take profit. Okay, you're stopped out. All right, you lost 1%. So in total, for this trading session that you're in, you've made 3%. You had 2 winners, 1 loss. You're still profitable 3%. So if you're on that 10K account, you're still up $300. All right, and this is how you're able to maintain your trading account and move out of that 100 trades, 100 loss. 100 trades is your 100% loss. Or when you're trading like FTMO, you're 5%, you can risk lower than 1% if you want to. You can risk a 0.5%, you know what I mean? Because then instead of having, 5 trades in a day to blow your account, you would have 10 trades in a day to blow your account, you know what I mean? And then you also have to know, like, yo, like if you're in a losing streak, to either cut down on those position sizes to where you're risking, instead of 1%, you're risking 0.5 or 0.25% until you get back in the mode and you're out of your losing streak, or you just stop trading for the day and you call it a day. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has losing days. They just don't show you it. And I don't care who it is. Your mentor will have losing days. They'll have losing trades. They just don't show that shit. They just don't show that shit to you. That's just what it is at the end of the day. Instagram and social media is all about flexing. Nobody shows their bad stuff on social media or YouTube, whatever the case is, on their courses, anything like that, you know? I'm one of the select few people who did. Like, I've showed you guys all my losses all the way up to now. And that's the reason why a lot of people fuck with me is because of that. And I'm super grateful that people do and they realize that, you know? But don't get me wrong, I'm nowhere where I want to be. I am to a point where I feel comfortable being able to share this information with you due to my experience and my back testing results and everything like that, you know? So again, let's say we go up here and we run a buy, you know, we do it again for 10 pips, 20 pips. That's another 2% that you made, right? So that's 2, 4, 6 minus the 1% that you lost. So you're still up 5%, you know? Let's say you go ahead and before this, you were still trading that same day and you wanted to go ahead and put 6 pip stop loss for this example and you still want to have a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, you know? So you want a 6 pip stop loss for a 12 pip take profit, right? You're still risking 1%, so you're still risking $100 on this 10K account or $1,000 on this 100K account, you know? You're still risking the same amount of money. It don't matter if it's 6 pips, 5 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips, a million pips, 100 pips. You're risking the same amount of money no matter what it is. So once you start trading like this, the whole idea of, oh, how much money am I risking should get out of your fucking mind. Don't even think about that anymore. Only think about what you are going to be risking as far as percentage and following your strategy. That's the only thing you need to worry about because you know you're going to risk that same amount of money every single trade. And again, you need to find yourself as a trader and you need to know like, hey, I'm very impatient, so I need to go ahead and just scout. Or, you know, I'm super impatient, so I can go ahead and sim trade in a 1 hour and a 4 hour and make this money like that way. Like I'm comfortable with that, you know? And all that's like perfectly fine for you to do. You just have to figure out the way that you are about it. Now, this was like a super high level overview of risk to reward. And I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys want me to do a more in-depth video of like risk management, risk to reward, I can definitely do that. That's not a problem. But I just wanted to give you guys just a little bit of sauce. Just a little bit of tips just to help you guys out because we're getting a little long. This video is about to be like 15, 16 minutes probably. Maybe a little shorter, but somewhere around that. And I don't want it to be too long for you guys because you might get bored. But yeah, I hope that was good enough for me to break it down for you guys. And I hope you guys understood it. If you have any questions, concerns, any ideas for more videos, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Give me a DM. All my social media is linked in the description, of course. And yeah, thank you guys so much again for the support. Thank you guys for watching this video. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep going ahead and trading, following your goals, following your dreams. And I love you guys and you all stay blessed and I'm out of here.